faint metallic hum filled the air, slow, heavy, endless. He opened his eyes, disoriented. The world was yellow-tinted and trembling, the lights flickering overhead like dying stars. The air smelled of rust, oil, and something. Burnt. He touched the floor. It was metal cold, vibrating beneath his palm as if something massive was moving far below. For a second, he thought he was still falling. Then he realized he had already landed. He pushed himself up slowly, pain shooting through his shoulder. Around him stretched a maze of steel corridors, pipes crawling across the walls like veins. The silence was unnatural, heavy, until a faint whisper rippled through the air. "Down here, we remember." He froze. That wasn't an echo. That was an answer. His breath quickened. He swung his flashlight across the corridor, just metal, shadows, and endless fog. Nothing moved. And yet, the feeling of being watched clung to his skin like static. Somewhere deep in the distance, machinery groaned awake, gears grinding, steam hissing. The corridor trembled slightly. He spotted a dim red light blinking ahead, an old control panel embedded in the wall. As he moved closer, static flickered across its broken screen. The words blinked once, then stabilized. Level -2, mechanical void. Do not descend. He exhaled sharply. Too late. His hand brushed the metal wall beside it, warm to the touch, almost alive. Then a loud clang echoed behind him. He spun instantly, flashlight shaking. The beam cut through the haze, but there was nothing, only the faint shimmer of dust in the light. Another clang, closer this time. He took a cautious step back. Hello. Silence. Then, a single footstep answered him. Then another, slow, deliberate. He shined his light down the corridor, empty. The sound stopped. The hum returned, deeper now, like a distorted voice murmuring beneath the machinery. You shouldn't have come here. His flashlight flickered violently. The air grew colder. He turned, scanning the walls, and saw movement. Behind a vent grill, something shifted. He approached slowly, heartbeat racing. Inside the vent, thick cables twitched like veins. Between them, a faint glow pulsed rhythmically, like a heartbeat. He stepped closer, and a hand pressed against the metal from inside the vent. He jumped back, light trembling. The hand was thin, pale, wired, veins replaced with metal filaments. It slid down the vent slowly, leaving a smear of dark oil. He ran. The corridors twisted endlessly, his footsteps echoing like a scream through the void. The hum followed him, mechanical, rhythmic, alive. He turned a corner and froze. In front of him stood a large metal hatch, half open, leaking a dull red glow. The sound, that deep, pulsing hum, came from inside. He crouched beside it, peering through the crack. Inside, gears turned like the bones of something colossal. Steam hissed, and within the turning machinery, he saw faces. Dozens of them. Half human, half metal, eyes wide, mouths open in silent screams, trapped between pistons and wires. He stumbled back in horror, hitting the wall behind him. No, that's not possible. A low groan echoed from the hatch, not mechanical, human. Then the gears stopped, and every face turned to look directly at him, his body locked. For a heartbeat, nothing moved. Then, something from inside pushed against the hatch. The metal screeched. A twisted arm, half steel, half flesh, forced its way out. He turned and ran again, breath ragged, light flickering. The hum behind him was now deafening. The walls vibrated as he passed, panels splitting open to reveal mechanical limbs twitching like nerves. He sprinted into a wider space, a massive circular chamber, dark except for a few dying red lights. Hanging cables swayed above like black vines. In the center stood a single terminal, still glowing weakly. He approached it, trembling, and the monitor blinked alive. You descended too far. The system sees you. He took a step back. No. The screen flickered again, showing fragmented images, yellow rooms, corridors, the walls breathing. Then it showed him, standing right there, and behind him, a tall, distorted shadow with glowing white eyes. He turned instantly, nothing there. But the air had changed. The hum stopped. A whisper brushed his ear. Keep descending. He spun around, wild-eyed, flashlight shaking. In the far corner of the chamber, something emerged from the darkness, tall, mechanical, humanoid. Its movements were jerky, wrong. The lights dimmed to blood red. The floor beneath him trembled. He stepped back toward the terminal, and on the screen, new words appeared. Level -3, core depths initiating. He looked down just as the floor split open. A blinding red light erupted below, air rushing out with a thunderous roar. He tried to grab a cable, but his fingers slipped. The last thing he saw was that shadow reaching for him, half machine, half human, as he fell into the abyss. His scream vanished into the mechanical hum. Darkness swallowed him whole. When consciousness returned, it came with a sound, a low, distant heartbeat echoing through metal. He gasped for breath, coughing out dust and oil. His entire body ached as if crushed by the weight of the machinery above. His flashlight flickered nearby, lying beside a pool of black, viscous liquid. He crawled toward it, the cold metal beneath his hands vibrating softly, like something beneath was alive. The beam flickered on, slicing through the fog. He froze. The floor wasn't solid. Beneath a thin mist, the metallic surface pulsed faintly, as though breathing. Every few seconds, a ripple passed under his boots. He stepped back, heart hammering, realizing he wasn't standing on metal. He was standing on something alive. The massive chamber stretched endlessly, red warning lights glowing faintly in the distance. Towers of gears and mechanical pillars extended upward, their tops lost in the darkness. Cables hung from the ceiling like veins, dripping oil. Somewhere in the shadows, a low hiss echoed, mechanical, yet disturbingly organic. "This can't be real," he whispered. He turned, shining the light along the walls, and froze again. Deep gouges scratched into the steel spelled broken words. "Don't listen to the voices, they know your name," his breathing quickened. A faint whisper brushed his ear. He's awake. He spun around. Who's there? Only silence. Then, a shape between the pillars. A figure stood there, motionless, facing him. Its body was human-like but twisted, wires embedded under its skin, head tilted unnaturally to one side. Glowing red symbols crawled across its arms like veins of light. "Hey," he called. "Can you hear me?" The figure didn't respond. He stepped closer. The moment his boot hit the floor, the figure moved, mirroring his step exactly. He froze. Another step. It copied again. Perfectly. "Stop," he whispered. The figure tilted its head, almost stunning him. Then its mouth opened. Static poured out. Sharp, piercing, mechanical static that stabbed through his skull. He dropped to his knees, clutching his head, but the noise wasn't just around him. It was inside him. And in that static, he heard his own voice. "You shouldn't have fallen. You don't belong here." He stumbled backward. The sound stopped. When he looked again, the figure was gone. Only the heartbeat of the machines remained. His light caught something, a blinking red indicator on the wall. He wiped the grime away from a cracked display screen. The words flickered into existence. System notice. Level -3 unstable. Human presence detected. Calibrating response protocol. He muttered, "Someone else is here?" The screen glitched, then flashed a single reply. "No, only you." He stepped back, pulse racing. Another line appeared. "The system is watching." A deep vibration rolled through the chamber. The ground beneath him rippled, and the cables above started twitching like snakes waking from sleep. The lights dimmed, then turned blood red. From the far end of the chamber, something began to rise. Metal screeched as massive pieces twisted together, forming a figure. A torso, arms, a head, featureless, except for a single glowing red circle in place of a face. It moved with an unnatural jerking rhythm, shrieking like grinding steel. He ran, straight into a maintenance tunnel. The narrow passage was suffocating, lined with wet pipes and dripping cables. Behind him, the monster's metallic limbs scraped the walls, sending sparks flying. He turned sharply and saw a control door labeled "Core Maintenance Access, Authorized Personnel Only." He slammed the control panel. The heavy steel door began to lower, painfully slow. The creature shrieked behind him. He dove under the door just as it slammed shut. Silence followed, then a slow, deliberate knock. Once, twice, 3 times. He backed away, shivering. "Please, stop." He turned his flashlight around the new chamber, smaller, cluttered with broken consoles and flickering screens. On one of them, static shifted into blurry security feeds, the yellow Backrooms halls. Movement flickered in the shadows of each feed, figures where none should exist. Then, one feed switched to him, standing there, watching the screen, and behind him, a tall shadow. He turned instantly. Nothing. Back to the monitor. The shadow was closer. "What do you want from me?" he whispered. The screen spasmed, glitching wildly, then froze. A voice spoke, not from the monitor, but from the room itself. "We need you to listen." He turned. The humanoid figure stood just a few feet away, skin split open with wires showing underneath, mouth twitching like a broken speaker. "Listen to the system," it whispered, "or it will rebuild you." He stumbled backward, shaking. "The deeper you go," it said, stepping closer, "the more it knows." It reached out a hand, sparking at the fingertips, and touched his forehead. A blinding white flash filled his vision, followed by a flood of images. Endless corridors, screaming voices rooms, collapsing machines, consuming bodies, all revolving around one entity, a tall, faceless figure with red eyes standing in the core of it all. He gasped, collapsing to the floor. When his sight returned, the figure was gone. The screen glowed again. Progression complete. Descent to core. He shook his head. No, not again. But the floor beneath him began to split apart, gears shifting, revealing another descent, a circular shaft glowing deep red. Hundreds of whispers echoed from the walls, faint, layered, familiar. "Descend, Descend. Descend. The light flickered violently. The floor gave way, and he fell, screaming, into the darkness of the core. He didn't remember landing, only falling. Endless red light swallowed him whole until even his scream vanished into static. Then, silence. When he woke up, the floor beneath him was metal, freezing, vibrating with a faint mechanical hum. The air smelled of rust and electricity. Red emergency lights pulsed on and off, syncing perfectly with the beat of his heart. He slowly sat up, whispering, "Where am I now?" The space wasn't a corridor anymore. He was inside a giant, circular chamber. Massive pipes and black cables lined the walls, converging toward a colossal structure in the center, a towering metal column covered in crawling red veins of light. Every few seconds, it shuddered like something alive. He stared, hypnotized. Is this the core? As if hearing him, a deep voice echoed across the chamber, cold, metallic, yet strangely human. "Welcome to level -4. Core access granted." The sound vibrated through the metal under his feet. Then came the whispers. "He's here. The system's awake. It watches through him." He spun around, shining his flickering flashlight. No one, just endless machinery breathing around him. He noticed a narrow walkway leading straight toward the core. Against every sane thought, he stepped forward. Clang. Each step echoed loudly in the chamber. The pulsing red light grew faster, as if the place had a heartbeat of its own. Halfway across, the lights above him began to flicker violently. For a second, everything went dark. Then, dozens of red eyes opened below the platform, glowing like embers. He froze. Figures began to rise from the darkness, tall, humanoid forms of metal and flesh. Their faces were smooth, eyeless except for those burning red lights. Wires hung like veins from their arms. Their movements were wrong, like broken puppets being forced to dance. He stumbled back, whispering, "No. No, what are you?" The voice returned, louder. "Do not resist. You are part of the system now." He turned and ran, boots clanging against the metal walkway. The creatures climbed after him, moving unnaturally fast, their screeches echoing through the dark. He reached a glowing control panel and slammed his palm down. The entire chamber shook. Alarms blared. The core split open in the middle, revealing a blinding white light inside. The creatures stopped, their heads tilted toward the light as if in trance. He shielded his eyes. Then the light spoke. "You are broken data, incomplete. But we can rebuild you." His voice trembled. "No, stay away from me. You belong here. You will help us grow." A wave of static hit him. His mind flooded with flashes, corridors looping, faces screaming, people dissolving into machinery. The backrooms were alive, feeding on everything trapped inside. He clutched his head, shouting, "Stop it! Stop!" They became part of the core, the voice whispered. "And so will you." He fell to his knees, gasping for breath. The floor under him began to crack. Sparks rained down. The machine's heartbeat turned frantic. Boom, 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 faster and faster. "System corruption detected," the voice growled. Host resisting assimilation. The walkway split apart. Pieces fell into the abyss below. He crawled toward the edge, dizzy, vision flickering with static. The pit below churned like a storm of red mist and spinning gears. Then a whisper came from behind his ear. "Jump, or it finds you." He turned. The creatures were crawling toward him again, screeching in metallic agony. No choice. He jumped. The fall felt endless until he crashed onto something soft. The air changed. The light shifted from red to pale yellow. He blinked. Carpet, damp walls, flickering lights. He was back. No, he gasped. That's not possible. I went deeper. He stood up, heart pounding. Same yellow corridors. Same hum of old lights. But now the hum whispered. He came back. He shouldn't be here. The bulbs above him flickered, one by one, then burst. Pop, pop, pop. Darkness swallowed the hallway. Then, footsteps. Soft, slow, getting closer. He clicked his flashlight, dead. He stood frozen in pitch black. The footsteps stopped right behind him. A breath, cold and damp, brushed his neck. You descended when you shouldn't have, a voice whispered. Now you can't ascend. He turned slowly, hands trembling, and saw it. The thing that had haunted every whisper and shadow, tall, thin, its body flickering like static between human and machine. Its face was a void, smooth, featureless, yet somehow smiling. It leaned closer until its blank face almost touched his. Welcome home. He tried to move. Couldn't. The lights flickered once, and he was gone. The hum fell silent. For a moment, nothing existed. Then, a ringing sound. A single, distant phone. Ring, ring, ring. Somewhere in the dark, a voice came through the static. Calm, familiar. Do you remember the way out? Everything went black.